More than 200 girls in Kisii County who dropped out of school as a result of early pregnancies have benefited from a project aimed at ensuring that teenage mothers both get a chance to complete their education and are not discriminated against in various social settings. A well-wisher from the county initiated the project that engages both parents and schools such that the teenage mothers are not socially excluded. Now, the Kisii Level 5 hospital receives numerous cases of teenage pregnancies, with some girls having to deliver through ceasarian section due to complications. And the mothers, some as young as 15 years old, are often likely to suffer from anxiety and depression and thus receive counseling as well. The situation is similar to that in Mount Elgon, where 8 girls from Chepkurkur Primary School dropped out of school, while 4 others got married after getting pregnant. In 2013, 19 girls dropped out of the same school for the same reason, indicating how dire the situation is. Now joining me is Evelyn Ogendo, who is the head for a community-based organization, Rudi Usome Organization. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Joy.
Yes, how do we explain the increased teenage pregnancies in Mount Elgon? We are seeing some in Taita, and now we are seeing increased teenage pregnancies in Kisii. How do you explain that?
Well, something I would like to say about my county, which I happen to understand so much, it's about lack of information and poverty. Those are two things that are really affecting them.
Right.
But when you look at it on the latter, you have to choose. They would rather have the information so that they can know how to handle the poverty.
Great. Or when you say they can know how to handle their poverty, what is your organization doing to ensure that these girls go back to school, and how exactly are you doing it, knowing that they are living in a society that is discriminating against them?
Well, with time, with my work, with time, or some time back, because of the society issues, when a child gets pregnant, the parents are embarrassed and they don't want to stay with them and stuff. Well, I went to do school-to-school based cases, and I tried to speak to the headmasters I know who are not in school because of pregnancies, and went back to find out why. Most of them, it is out of stigma. They don't want to be seen as those mothers who are still in school. So this is a subject that I try to make at home, to make even the headmasters adjust their rules so that it can fit in the young mothers.
Well, what is going on in the rural areas? I know that there's increased poverty in some of these places or areas around the country, but what I don't seem to understand is that we're having girls as young as 12 years old who are pregnant, and then by the age of 14 they actually have 2 children. How do we explain that? Is there a study that has been done aside from poverty as a reason that is leading to these pregnancies?
All in all, according to me, the parents back at home, especially in the village, the parents are finding it very hard to speak to their teenagers or to their children before they attain the teenage age. So they shy off and decide this is a taboo to talk about some things. And you see, these are the same people who are supposed to help these children grow up. It is your mother who understands how she grew up. That's the only way she's going to teach you how to grow up. But they hardly talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They say that's an embarrassment.
So lack of sex education.
Yeah, lack of sex education.
Yeah.
And charity begins at home, I believe. You got to train your child. And most of the parents have not, they have not opened up to their children. Their fathers, they have not opened up to talking to it's not about the girl child alone, because this girl child getting pregnant is not about her herself. It's involved the boy or some man or somebody somewhere. So it is simply lack of information, and they are avoiding these words, these terminologies, to teach their children from at home.
So is your organization as well incorporating that in, as you're trying to take back these girls to school, are you also incorporating sex education with the parents, with the teachers, or with the girls themselves?
Well, there's a time I engaged parents, and they were looking at me like they're not comfortable with the subject, but that is the only way I was going to do it. And then I went mostly to the mixed schools, is where there's a lot of challenge. I spoke to them using the right words at the right place. And first they were not comfortable, but after I did repeat jobs, now they're getting comfortable and wanting to know exactly what are you saying or what can we do.
All right. So now I'm thinking we're having girls the age of 12 who are getting pregnant. At what age do we start talking about sex education? With these increased pregnancies, I think soon we're going to see girls as young as 10 getting pregnant. So at what age do we start talking about sex education?
Well, according to me, these days it's not like, I would say this generation is too digital, according to me. Now, like you tell, a long time you tell somebody who is in class 7 that you can go to the supermarket and buy a child from there, and somehow that person will try to believe it. These days, a child of 3 years, you cannot tell that kid that you can go to the supermarket and buy a child from there. So meaning they have a hint. So with age, the language you're going to use with a 3-year-old, it's not the same language that you'll use when this kid is going to 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You have to change your language.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Now, as we wind up, you were vying for the woman rep for Kisii County, and I don't know if it's the right time to ask, how did you feel now that, you know, everything turned out to be different? And then the other question I'm definitely going to pose to you is, are you going to vie again for the woman rep for Kisii County?
Well, Joy, I would say that is very early to say right now, but okay, I went in for the elections, it didn't work out. I don't want to speculate that, you know, most of the time when people try in seats and then they are not able to make it, most of the time they say somebody stole my votes. I don't want to say that.
So nobody stole your votes?
I wouldn't say nobody stole, but my votes, when they were counted, they were less than the winner. So it means, and it has to be one winner, so it means I lost it.
Any future political ambitions?
Well, I would like to serve, basically why I wanted the women rep seats. I really want to forge ahead for these the young mothers to go back to school, and then there's this section of their children, the unwanted pregnancies. I don't see anybody addressing that. That's something also I like to address. Maybe I would partner with anybody who is willing, so that we support the unwanted pregnancies that turn out to be unwanted children. You know, remember, these children didn't say that I want to be born by this young mother. So those are the children that are not everybody is turning a back to. It's something really I like to support, and then disease. You know, pregnancy comes a lot of things. Unwanted child disease and so many things.
I really wish I would have more time to allow you to talk about all the problems that are going on in Kisii County, but thank you so much for making time to come to KTN and speak to us about teenage pregnancies.